We're Brooke and Gary, along with our new crew member Hannah, sailing across the Pacific Ocean on our 40-foot sailboat, One Life. After a tough 250-mile journey from Tonga, we arrived in the remote, untouched coral atoll of Minerva Reef. However, we can't get too comfortable here, as the real challenge still lies ahead. 800 miles of open ocean remains between us and New Zealand. This passage has the potential to be our most intense sail yet. But for now, we wait on that ideal weather window before we set off on the next leg of this daunting journey.
Today we're going for a scuba dive in probably the most remote place that we'll have ever gone for a dive.
Yep, so we're literally here in the middle of the Pacific Ocean and anchored inside this reef, Minerva Reef. And we met a guy last night who's been scuba diving here the past 2 weeks. He's been here for a while, and he agreed to take us on a dive today.
He's going to go show us the spot and dive with us, and we're pretty excited. Let's go see what we find.
We followed Rich out the pass to where a shallow coral reef plunges down into the deep blue. With our dinghies anchored, we were anxious to drop in and see what this reef poking up from the middle of the ocean had in store. We were immediately greeted by a kaleidoscope of vibrant hard and soft corals like we had never before seen. The amount of life on every square meter of this reef was astounding, and even the big fish were completely unafraid of us and our noisy bubbles. Facing the wall, our eyes were filled with every color of the rainbow. Spin around, and we had a handful of sharks patrolling the outer edge of the reef. If not for our limited supply of air, we could have stayed down forever. This is likely one of the most inaccessible dive sites on the planet, and we were ecstatic to have laid our eyes on it.
Minerva Reef has been absolutely amazing, but the main reason we're here is the stage for our crossing to New Zealand. So we just finished with a dive, and we're going to go over the weather. The weather between here and New Zealand can be quite challenging. There's lots of highs and lows that rip through the area. So we've been monitoring it quite closely, and Gary's going to give us the rundown.
Here's New Zealand. We are right about here. And
I think we went over this before. The weather systems here are like high, low, and they move west to east in a pretty consistent pattern, right? So if we just look generally at it, like they'll all move west to east, those highs following each other. Over the next coming days, we have this high pressure system that rotates counterclockwise as we're in the southern hemisphere. Near the center of the high will be nice, calm, settled weather. It's different than a low. In the middle of a low is awful weather. As we move on, you eventually get the next front, which is this. And that's a low over here pushing against this high. And you get this frontal boundary here. So you'll get pretty strong winds out of this northwest like this. And then the front, which will be pretty unsettled weather. It'll be squally, stormy, right? And then you get strong southerlies after that. So the idea is to try to avoid getting hit by that. The job of weather routing is critically important to the safety of both the crew and our vessel. I take the trust that Brooke and Hannah put in me as captain very seriously, but always make sure to talk over the weather situation as a team. We discuss the models, the routing, what conditions to expect, and the best and worst case scenarios. Luckily, we aren't entirely alone here at Minerva Reef, and have a handful of other sailors to boost confidence in our chosen weather window.
How was your day? Did you also have a beautiful rest day? Change of scenery. It's nice that everybody is on the new anchorage again. And what is a beautiful day, huh? So let's start with the weather update for today. Aldabra. Aldabra, how soon do you want to leave?
We're kind of looking at Thursday right now.
Jolly here. We are probably leaving tomorrow. Not very early in the morning. Maybe we change our mind about that this evening when we get the latest updates on the weather.
The camaraderie in a place like this cannot be overstated, and this afternoon, the entire population of Minerva Reef came together for some shared food and drinks. When you're this far from any form of civilization, everyone is instantly as close as family. North Minerva Reef is roughly circular, with a single entrance and spans around 4 miles across. Without any dry land to step on, this anchorage is truly a water lover's dream. Brooke and I were eager to see more of what was underwater just outside the edge of the reef, and Rich had offered to show us another one of his favorite sites, so we geared up and headed back out the pass. The pinnacle of this dive site is a blue hole in the reef that drops straight down into the abyss. Its walls are completely covered in overlapping hard corals, a visually stunning spectacle and a masterpiece of nature. think tomorrow is departure day for New Zealand.
And tonight it is 9:30. We're getting ready. Gary's checking the weather.
Doing some final weather routing.
Yeah, this could potentially be one of our most challenging sails, even more so than our crossing.
But more interesting, what's Hannah doing in the kitchen?
Yeah, so let's go check on Hannah.
I'm just cooking some pasta. We have some friends coming over that are bringing us some lobster. So I'm making some pasta with some garlic and butter to go with that. And Brooke made a nice salad.
You did? And what are your feelings about the sail?
I'm nervous. I'm nervous not because I'm not confident in you guys, but I'm just nervous because I know it's going to be a tricky sail. It's going to be challenging for sure. I haven't done a long sail like this before, so we'll see how we go. But I'm confident in you guys that you know what you're doing and you know that you're going to keep us safe. So
we're ready?
So we're ready. I assume, I hope. No, as Gary says, like, it is what it is.
It'll probably be fine.
It'll probably be fine. Woohoo! And I don't really want to be working.
Getting your passage hair for tomorrow.
It's gonna be beautiful.
Both spirits and nerves were high as we did our best to distract ourselves from what we would soon face.
Well, it's time. Time to tackle this sail and get a move on. We had a bit of a sleep in this morning and we lounged around a bit, had some breakfast. And yeah, it's about noon now, so we're gonna pull anchor and get underway. There are a few other boats here in the anchorage, and it looks like they're all gonna wait for another weather window. But our friend Max on Elixir, he pulled anchor about 3 hours ago, so he'll be out there with us. And yeah, we hope to see all these other boats here in New Zealand in about a week.
Yep, it's time. Everybody's going to be leaving either today or tomorrow. So it's pretty much the same window. It's just some of the bigger boats are going to wait one more day, and us small boats need to get moving because we're slow.
What a great day to go sailing.
It's lovely weather today.
Cloudy
Got
weather.
lovely clouds, and we'll have about 16
Let's
knots on the
do it.
nose. Let's go.
Do it. I'm just gonna put this in here.
What are you doing, Hannah?
I'm trying to stop everything from knocking while we're sailing.
What do you mean? What knocks in here?
Every single thing. These cupboards, and then like,
Oh yeah, I
That's
hear
gonna
that one.
knock.
That's definitely gonna knock.
we're gonna need another towel for that cupboard.
Grab a towel.
Yeah.
We have some towels up there. We have an oven mitt stuffed in there. We have that bungee, trash can tied. I'll grab you another towel. This is our pile of towels for stashing when we hear a noise in a cupboard. That
And it's only Brooke and I because Gary's like, I'll just sleep through anything.
You guys spend more time chasing the noises than you would if you just fell asleep. Going down is harder than
yeah. All right, we're gonna do double reef main to start.
Keep going?
Thanks, guys. You all as well. Looking forward to seeing you in New Zealand.
Safe passage to One Life. It was fun diving with you.
Thanks, Rich. We'll be emailing you some footage once we get there. it's been super fun here in Minerva. It's really cool to have such an awesome sailing community. And yeah, we're one of the first boats leaving, so don't know if that's good or bad for us, but always good to have a bunch of boats around you. They should be leaving the next day, and some of them I'm sure will be passing us in the coming days.
You'll have to like actually push it though. Use it. Yeah.
See you in half an hour then. Okay.
Going.
Just do anything. It's just around 4 p.m. I think, and our sail has started out as expected. We're bashing into big seas and high winds. I'm not really tired, but one of the things I've learned on a long passage is just to rest as much as you can. So it's Gary's watch now. Hannah and I are down getting some sleep, and we're just laying here. It's super noisy down below. The boat's moving a lot. And there's waves just like crashing on the side of the boat and up over the front of the boat. It's pretty gnarly out actually, and the hatch above me is leaking, so that's been fun, just watching the water come in when a big wave crashes. So we stuffed some towels up there. It's not really doing the job, but certainly helps. But we're running with a double reefed main and our staysail out, and our hope is that in the next day or two these conditions will subside and we'll get a nice beam reach to New Zealand. Loose of it.
Yeah, I like these. That's good. It's just the spare anchor rattling around.
It's rattling.
Yeah. I just want to make sure the grabber on the anchor was still attached.
Well, it is just after 4 a.m. and the conditions really haven't improved much. We've really not been filming because we've either been down below sleeping and resting or up here just holding on. We have the enclosure all zipped up because the waves, it's hard to get them on camera because of course you never have the camera on when it happens, so they've just been coming up and hitting the side of the boat. Gary had to go out earlier to check to make sure that our anchor was not giving us problems. He thought maybe it had come loose from the hook, but it hadn't, so that's good news. It's always easier to deal with these conditions when you can see. But anyway, just waiting for the sunrise. So now that the sun's up, we are just taking a look at our sails, and we were gonna make a sail change, but we realized that there's a problem with our furler on our staysail that we've had out all night. So Gary's up there assessing the situation now.
Okay, let's get up the demo. I know the foil split, so I don't know what's supposed to hold it together, but it like rose up and came out of the...
So now we can't use the staysail anymore, or
We can.
just have to figure out how it split.
I mean, we can use it, so we just need to keep an eye on it.
Okay.
No, that looks good for now. We're good. The first few days of a long passage are always an adjustment period. The endless heeled-over tossing and rolling, the sounds of the waves breaking against the hull, and the routine of watchkeeping all slowly start to fall into harmony.
We're only 51 miles off course.
The fastest route is rarely the straight line with sailing.
Okay, so here's the question. How many of us brushed our teeth today?
Yeah, I was gonna say yes, but that's a yes for a no.
I managed to that. I did not
Oh,
put on
really?
any deodorant today.
No, I didn't put deodorant on either. I figure I'll change my top tomorrow.
I don't feel like none of us.
I consider a sail as really just one day.
Yeah. So this whole week, it's just gonna be one day.
Well, you change your clothes once, brush your teeth once, and put on deodorant once, and you've like
Yeah.
that's what you need to do for that day.
I mean, literally, we sleep. We come up here and it's not like we're getting hot and sweaty. I mean, the teeth brushing thing I should probably work on.
We were well on our way now and getting into the groove, but with a long 670 nautical miles still to go. Come along next time as we point the bow south and continue on our passage to the land of the long white cloud, New Zealand.